Hello, and thanks for clicking on the link to watch this video. I want to do an updated video on the 1099 Wizard. Last year, both the radio show and on our YouTube site and Charlie Russell's blog, and there's a lot out there on the 1099K, right? And the excluded payments and how is that handled in QuickBooks. And we had an assistant tool, that you could download as a pro advisor for free or pay $1 if you weren't, or some absurd amount of money like that. And that was for the prior supported years of QuickBooks. But for 12 and 13, the exclusion of 1099K type payments when you're doing the 1099 miscellaneous, that's already factored in, using the check number field, you put in debit or credit or PayPal or something. And so I'll show you how that works in 2013, just so we have an updated video. And this is purely for QuickBooks for Windows. Mac would also have the similar Wizard and QuickBooks Online from the vendor list. You can prepare print 1099s. But I'm in QBA, but you could be in Pro or Enterprise. And I'm going to the vendors menu and print e-file 1099s, and you see the 1099 Wizard. Right now, before I even go there, let me go to the vendor center real quick. And you'll see I have, Don Brolin, and I filled out my tax settings and things like that, and they have the address info. And I also wrote a check to Don for $601, which puts her in the threshold, right, for 1099. And then notice the check number field. So I would expect to see this on the 1099 miscellaneous. However, if we look at Stacy here, her check in the number field has PayPal. Right? So I would expect this to be excluded. Okay? Very simple setup just so you guys can get an idea. So you go to vendors, print e-file 1099's 1099 Wizard, and it has 6 steps. Get started, and you'll notice I have Stacy and Dawn here, and this is the account used. It's a COGS account, subcontractors, and it is a 1099 account. I'll show you on the next step where you set that up. And there's the tax ID and information for address, etc. And then, of course, here's where, I'm sorry, it's step 3 where I'm going to report all to box 7, and in box 7 I have for my account is going to be, you can set it up for the account itself as subcontractors COGS, and that's for box 7, right? Because there's no more preference for that in your preferences where you'd set it up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and then I'm going to look at included payments, and here is Don's check for 601, right? So that makes it to the 1099. Excluded payments, here's Stacy's check because that's PayPal or debit or credit card or something. Of course, you're doing credit card, use a credit card charge. Those are automatically excluded, right? But per IRS regulations for 1099K, this is going to be excluded, right? Put on the 1099K, right? Which QuickBooks doesn't do, but at least excludes it from the 1099 miscellaneous. And then I click continue, and there are the 1099 miscellaneous for 2012. I confirm my entries. I can run a report here. Click continue. So the Wizard's just like last year's. It's just we don't have an assistant tool for the supported prior years. So for pro advisors, this is important. And here's where you print and you file the 1099s. We'll go over that in a sec. If your client sends you a file from like 10 or 11, and you're just doing 1099s, restore it to 12 or 13. Right? Because in 10 and 11, you're going to have to do kind of a manual workaround to exclude those payments that should go on the 1099K and not on the 1099 miscellaneous. We don't have an assistant tool anymore, right? That you could download. So use 12 or 13 for this because the Wizard supports that. Here's where you can print the forms, of course, or you can go to the e-file service. It's $25 a file if you get it by 1/15. That should be each year, and then $39 a file thereafter, right? And you would do it per file, but you create a login. It's the same service that's out on our App Center, the Intuit eFile service. It works with the Mac, it works with QBO, and the desktop product. It should be same pricing. So that's the Wizard. That's the 1099. I'm going to save and close it, and I'll just X out. And that's how the Wizard would work to exclude the 1099K payments and include the appropriate 1099 miscellaneous income payments. Hope that was helpful. Have a great day.